My dear Dhamma children, Dhamma brothers and sisters, we have all assembled here on this sacred land to express our feelings of gratitude, our devotion to my Dhamma father, Sayagyi U Ba Khin. I was so close to him, so I knew, I understood what a great Dhamma inspiration he had, that now the time has ripened, the clock of Vipassana struck, the Dhamma has to spread around the world. It will spread around the world. Many of you have come from far off places, from different countries, from about 30 countries of the world, and you are fortunate that you have come on this Dhamma land, which has preserved, maintained the Dhamma in its pristine purity for us. It is a real pilgrimage to the sacred land.
In January 2000, hundreds of Vipassana meditators from all over the world joined their teacher S.N.Goenka and his family on a journey to the Dhamma land of Myanmar. On this special occasion, marking the 100th anniversary of the birth of his teacher, Sayagyi U Ba Khin, Goenkaji wanted to show the people of Myanmar the great impact Sayagyi's teaching has had in other countries. He also wanted Vipassana students to come and discover a land that has kept the torch of Dhamma bright through the millennia. The centenary celebrations started with a Vipassana seminar at Dhamma Jyoti, the center built by Goenkaji's students in central Yangon.
First of all, we express our feelings of deep gratitude, deep devotion towards Gautama, the Samma Sambuddha. He had the liberation in his hand. It was there, and yet he sacrificed it. I am not interested in my own liberation alone. I want to become a Samma Sambuddha so that I can serve countless beings and help them to come out of their misery, get liberated. All the pains that he took to reach that stage, everyone feels that he actually worked for me. If he had not worked so much, how could I have got Dhamma? How could I have got the path of liberation?
A few hundred years after the Buddha had passed away, His teaching disappeared from India, where he had lived and taught. But the Ganges of Dhamma kept on flowing in the neighboring country of Myanmar.
All these saintly people, the teachers, who maintained Dhamma in its pristine purity, from generation to generation, from teacher to pupil, from teacher to pupil, we feel so grateful to them, and we express our feeling of devotion towards them. On behalf of all my students, I pay deep respect to the Sangha. Their blessing is so valuable for me.
The Dhamma seminar began in Dhammajyoti with an offering of Sanghadana to 100 senior scholar monks. As is traditional in Myanmar, the monks were first offered a meal. After the lunch, each monk was respectfully offered a package containing Sangha requisites. This was a unique opportunity for meditators to earn merits, especially those who had come from overseas and have never had the chance to experience this custom. Every morning, all over Myanmar, monks set out on their alms round. They go out for the welfare of householders. By giving dana to fulfill the monk's requirement of food, the householders gain merits. In the Goenka family house in Yangon, the noble tradition of giving alms is maintained, as it is in any other house in Myanmar.
We are grateful to those two brothers, Tapasya and Bhallika, who were the first two lay persons to meet the Buddha and offer him honey and rice cakes, the rice of this land, honey of this land was offered as the first food to the enlightened one. It was a great meritorious deed. Those merits go not only to these two brothers, those merits go to the entire country. And then these two brothers, they got the hair relics of the enlightened one. And those hair relics were brought to this country. The country became all the more sacred with those hair relics which are enshrined in this historical stupa Shwedagon. The vibrations of this wonderful Shwedagon with the relics of the hair of the enlightened one is not only helping this country, but is helping the entire mankind. People come and pay respect here, they get benefit of these vibrations, and they keep on walking on the path of Dhamma to get liberated. Of course, those people who go there, pay respects by offering flowers, etc., they get all the merits because of their devotion. But those who go and meditate there, limitless merits, limitless benefits they get by it. Now, hundreds of you who have come for the pilgrimage to this sacred land will be meditating on the platform of S.N.Goenka, and you will realize what a wonderful sacred place it is.
Early morning, a large number of Vipassana meditators gathered for a special group sitting held in the open at the S.N.Goenka Pagoda. Visiting and meditating at the S.N.Goenka Pagoda was such an inspiring event that Goenka and the pilgrims have made it a daily routine during their stay in Yangon. On each visit, Goenka circled the S.N.Goenka Pagoda giving metta, accompanied by his wife, sons, family members, and hundreds of his students.
And then, again we remember the great Emperor Ashoka, when he sent Dhamma to different countries. 2 Dhamma were sent to this sacred land, Sona and Uttara. And that was the time when the Dhamma in its pristine purity got strongly established in this part of the world. We express our feeling of gratitude, great gratitude, deep gratitude towards these 2 Arhants who did wonderful job to get the Dhamma established in this part of the world, both Pariyatti as well as Patipatti. Remain alert, remain attentive from moment to moment. Aware of respiration when you are practicing Anapana, and aware of sensations when you are practicing Vipassana. Sensation of this type or that type, every sensation has the same characteristic, the characteristic of arising, passing away, uday, vyay, uday, vyay. Keep on realizing this reality at the experiential level, and keep on developing your wisdom, your equanimity.
Caring for such a large number of meditators who came on this pilgrimage to Myanmar was not an easy task. At the Goenka household in Yangon, Goenkaji's sons, together with the son of Sayagyi U Ba Khin, were working almost around the clock, organizing the complex logistics of the tour up north. A major help came from the Venerable Bhikkhu Ashinya Nisara, who offered to host the pilgrims in his monastery in the Sayagyi Hills near Mandalay. From there, they would set out to visit the sacred places nearby.
People, when they come from outside, they want to see things specially connected with Vipassana. So they would go to Lady Shadow place, and now, as you say, it has developed so much, they'll be very happy.
15 morning, all of meditators that come to Sayagyi, they're going to sit in together in the same one place.
1 hour sitting there, meditation, very good. They will get good vibration of Sayagyi.
This time, do not miss it to see the birthplace of the Lady Shadow.
How far from where you are?
Going on to this village, 35 miles.
35 miles to birthplace, then you said 35 miles for his meditation place. Certainly, if it can be covered in one day, I go from Manly and cover those things and come back.
Yeah.
Manly, because a center has come up there, Bamo Shadow's place, center has come. So wherever a new center comes, it becomes my duty to stay there and generate vibration. Of course, the program is too hectic. I understand, but...
Please open.
And then, 800 years ago, one name comes up before us, Arhant Dhamma Dassi, Sing Arhant. And being an Arhant, he could see that the northern part of the country, Dhamma gets is deteriorated. There is no pure Dhamma there. So he decided to go to that part of the country, establish Dhamma there, both Pariyapti and Patipatti. Then it is said he went further north and settled down in the Sayagyi hill. Not only Sing Arhant meditated there for the whole life, but he kept on teaching this Dhamma, the Patipatti Dhamma. Therefore, Sayagyi is also a very sacred place of Dhamma. After that, from generation to generation, from teacher to pupil, that was the center which maintained Dhamma in its pristine purity.
The centenary seminar in Yangon was concluded, and the Dhamma tour had set out on its way up north. Six buses with about 300 pilgrims made the journey northward to visit Mandalay, Sayagyi, and the sacred sites in the area. The pilgrims received a joyous and affectionate welcome by local meditators, schoolchildren, and monks wherever they went. This was perhaps the first time the country people had had the chance to greet and host such a large number of meditators from so many countries. The experience was overwhelming for both sides. The hosts were delighted to be able to welcome and serve food to the pilgrims. The tour had reached Mandalay, the old capital of the country, where Goenka paid a visit to the local Vipassana center. After crossing the Irrawaddy River to the Sayagyi Hills and spending time as guests of the Venerable Bhikkhu Nisara, Goenka Ji and the pilgrims had left for Monywa.
Dhamma brothers and sisters of this sacred city of Monywa, this place became all the more sacred when about 170 years ago a wonderful personality took birth here. That was my great-grand Dhamma father, Venerable Ledi Sayadaw. He was such a brilliant scholar of Pariyatti and at the same time a great saint of Patipatti. His writings have been giving great inspiration for generations to the people who are interested in Buddha's teaching.
Not far from Monywa, the pilgrims crossed the Chinwan River in a fleet of boats. At the other bank, on the top of a hill, was one of the tour's most important sites, the meditation cave of Venerable Ledi Sayadaw. Every evening, after fulfilling his duties of teaching Pali to the bhikkhus at Monywa, the Sayadaw would cross the river and spend the night meditating in his cave.
He was such a far-sighted person. He could see that when 2,500 years are over, after the Buddha, Dhamma will spread around the world. So he made preparation for that. He could realize that in the countries where people have got respect and devotion towards Buddha, the monks are the proper people, they can teach. But in most part of the world, people have no respect for Buddha because they don't know anything about Buddha or his teaching. How will they learn the teaching of Buddha? If the monks go there, perhaps people will hesitate, fearing that he is going to convert us to Buddhism. So after many centuries, he started a tradition where a householder also can become a teacher. He opened the gateway for all the householders to come and practice Dhamma and Vipassana. So when they get real benefit out of this teaching, naturally the feeling of gratitude increases, and that is why in this centenary year, so many people were eager to come to this country of Dhamma and pay respect to the country, pay respect to the Sangha, just because they have tasted Dhamma, they got the benefit from the Dhamma. Therefore, we have a feeling of infinite gratitude towards this wonderful Dhamma teacher.
The Venerable Ledi Sayadaw lived and taught for many years in his monastery near Monywa. Today, his successor, the 9th Ledi Sayadaw, is the abbot of the monastery. Goenka Ji and the pilgrims came to pay respects to the Sayadaw, who gave them his blessings. The Sayadaw said, "The meeting together of all of us in this great place established by Ledi Sayadaw is like the meeting of long-separated family members." Covering hundreds of miles, Goenka and the pilgrims were trying to make best use of the limited time available. They stopped at famous pagodas, such as the stupa on the balancing rock at Chetyo, and places of meditation where past teachers of Vipassana practiced the technique of liberation. In each place, Goenka met and paid respect to the local Sangha.
A wholesome life, good for you.
Public talks were organized for large audiences throughout the pilgrimage.
This behavior pattern deep inside at the root level of the mind, it generates addiction. Addiction not only towards alcohol or drug, etc., but addiction towards craving, towards aversion, towards ego, all kinds of impurities. One gets addicted and one keeps on multiplying them. Misery is universal. Everyone is feeling miserable. The householders have more misery. Every householder cannot be expected to live the life of householder and become a monk or a nun. This is what Venerable Lady Sayadaw also saw. And the decision that is made was wonderful decision. It was a historical decision, and it was a very fruitful decision. He trained one wonderful lay teacher, Sayagyi, to get developed in Dhamma and become a teacher of Vipassana. We remember him and pay our respect to him.
Sayagyi was a farmer living in a small village near Yangon. As a young family man, he had experienced profound personal tragedies, which led him to undertake a spiritual quest to find a way out of his suffering. After years of travel seeking a meditation teacher, Sayagyi came in contact with the saintly monk Ledi Sayadaw. He spent several years as a disciple of his beloved teacher, who encouraged him to start teaching Vipassana. Sayagyi returned to his village, Pyopweji, and started a meditation center behind the family farm. The place is still there today, and Goenka and the pilgrims have come to pay respects and meditate there.
Lady Sayadaw's Dhamma vision is becoming true now. Dhamma is spreading. It would not have been possible if Sayagyi was not a successful household teacher. My Dhamma father, Sayagyi U Ba Khin, personally brought me here to pay respect to this very fertile land which produces Dhamma. My grand Dhamma father, Sayagyi, was also a cultivator, but he turned into a Dhamma cultivator. He started sowing seeds of Dhamma. Sayagyi U Ba Khin came here for 7 times to meditate. In those days, meditation was done here. Sayagyi U Ba Khin will also come here, other students will come here, and Sayagyi will sit there. From there he will give metta, give strength to the meditators. Although in the attire of a family man, a lay person, inside he lived the life of a monk. So very much pure was his life that people will keep on getting inspiration by his life. Therefore, we express our feeling of infinite gratitude towards Sayagyi. This is the sacred land where Sayagyi U Ba Khin got his second birth, coming out of the shell of ignorance under the guidance of Sayagyi.
In 1937, U Ba Khin crossed the Yangon River on the way to Sayagyi's village to take his first meditation course. From there onwards, there was no looking back.
My Dhamma father, Sayagyi U Ba Khin, used to say that the time clock of Vipassana has struck. Now it must go to its country of origin, India, and from there it will spread. No one can stop that progress.
U Ba Khin combined his profound dedication to Dhamma with his devotion to government service throughout his life. He was one of the most distinguished civil servants of his time in Myanmar. On the day the country gained independence, he became the Accountant General, and for the next 2 decades he also served in a variety of government posts, sometimes holding several of them simultaneously. His efficiency and integrity were unsurpassed, but serving his country on the mundane level was not enough. He was eager to share the jewel of Vipassana and help people find the path to liberation. In 1952, he established the International Meditation Center in Yangon, where he started teaching Vipassana meditation. As a teacher, U Ba Khin insisted on strict discipline, but at the same time, he showed immeasurable love and compassion. He was able to explain Dhamma in a way that Buddhists and non-Buddhists alike could grasp and appreciate. His unique non-sectarian interpretation of Dhamma and his ability to teach in English drew people from different countries and religious backgrounds. Sayagyi U Ba Khin paved the way for Dhamma to start spreading all over the world, far beyond the borders of Myanmar. In 1955, S.N.Goenka, a successful businessman and a leader of the Indian community in Burma, took his first Vipassana course with Sayagyi U Ba Khin. It was a life-transforming experience. He continued to study for 14 years under the guidance of Sayagyi and became one of his foremost students.
We remember this brilliant shining star in the galaxy of Dhamma, Sayagyi U Ba Khin, my Dhamma father. He had so much love and compassion for the entire suffering humanity, but special love and compassion for India. He kept on saying that I have to pay back the debt of gratitude. This wonderful, invaluable Dhamma came from India, and today India is bankrupt. They don't have Dhamma. He very much wanted to go himself to give Dhamma, but due to certain reasons he could not go. And a situation arose due to which, even as a Burmese citizen, I got a passport to go to India. He was so happy, so pleased. Now you will go as my representative and you will fulfill my mission, my vision. I had my own hesitation because I knew my limitation. But he encouraged, saying that you have nothing to worry because Dhamma is going there. And through you, I am going there. And you will be successful, you need not worry. It was all the power of Sayagyi U Ba Khin. It was all the blessing of Sayagyi U Ba Khin that within 1 month, the first course of 10 days was given in India. And then after that, the Ganges of Dhamma started flowing throughout the country, courses after courses, courses after courses, unbelievable. And hundreds of people, thousands of people from around the world, they started coming to India and they started taking these courses. Unbelievable. It made me feel all the more that I am just a representative of Sayagyi. I am just a representative of Sayagyi. Everything is done by Dhamma, everything is done by Sayagyi U Ba Khin. Therefore, on this day, when we are all assembled here to pay our homage to this great householder saint, Sayagyi U Ba Khin, our Dhamma father, the only way to pay real respect to Sayagyi U Ba Khin is live the life of pure Dhamma. Be a good example of somebody living the life of pure Dhamma and keep on serving people egolessly, always thinking that I am the representative of Sayagyi U Ba Khin. May the Dhamma vision, may the Dhamma mission of that great teacher Sayagyi U Ba Khin get fulfilled. May more and more people around the world get benefited by this wonderful Dhamma. May all come out of their suffering. May all be happy, be peaceful, be liberated.